the way that you label things could be the issue. Some people say, okay, don't be afraid to fail. Failing, I've always been told failing throughout my childhood is not a good thing. So then when you say the word failing, when you're trying to evolve and push past your limits, you have that definition of failing being negative. Instead of failing, I'm like, oh, I tried that. That didn't work out too well. So let me try it a different way. I try to avoid words that historically can make me just give me a mental block, just make me stop.
Welcome to the UMGC podcast, Unstoppable Stories, with your host, Nathan James.
All right, everybody. It's good to see you and have you here with us. I'm actually here with Kavita Moody, and she is here with us spending some time. We're going to have a good time. And she actually works with the FAA. She has earned not one, not two, but 3 degrees here at UMGC, bachelor's and as well as 2 master's degrees, including her MBA and a master's degree in data analytics. And she's taken time to be here with us today. So, Kavita, how are you feeling? Thanks for being here with us.
Feeling good, feeling good. How are you?
I'm good, great that you're here.
Thanks, thanks.
I mean, let's jump in, right? So let's start with your background. Tell us what you'd like, just about your background. For example, I know that you got to do musical theater, in high school. That could be a good starting point, but wherever you feel comfortable, go for it.
Yeah, so it feels like I lived different lifetimes because I've had a few different careers over the years. I won't tell
Sure.
you how many years. But yeah, so I actually played basketball, and then I took a season off my freshman year and then got into theater. And then from there, I just did theater for the rest of my high school career, and then, everybody thought I would major in theater in college, but, I wind up doing first paralegal and then paralegal and then, graphic design, and that's how, I started doing University of Maryland, and I did the, undergraduate degree for, web technology and digital media. But, yeah, but while I was working on that, I also was still doing the acting thing, and, so I did, like, headlined, musical theater in Pensacola, Florida, and then
No way.
I started filming movies in New Orleans and driving the 3 hours back and forth in Pensacola and doing movies. So I was able to get my SAG card. That's the Screen Actors Guild. It's the union. So I'm not a due paying member because obviously I have a whole another career now. But whenever I start paying dues, I'm a SAG member.
Still.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I mean, as long as you pay your dues, you're always able to cash in on the SAG. So then I got married to someone who was an officer in the Navy. So then we got stationed overseas in Naples, Italy for 3 years. Spent 17 months in upstate New York. And then we got stationed in Japan for 3 years.
How about that? Yeah.
Yeah,
So globetrotting
a little
at that point,
bit.
right? And it's like you're globetrotting geographically, but you're also globetrotting almost career-wise, right? I
A
mean,
little bit.
a little bit, right? You're covering a lot of the gamut there. Okay. So, I mean, I'm curious. So you're into sports, right? Or
Most
you
definitely.
did basketball, right? Are you still doing that, by the way?
I
Do you
do it on
play or
my own time for
yeah.
exercise. I do 20
That's
minutes of
great.
dribbling drills around the court, and
Yeah.
then, I do shooting drills for the rest of the time. Yeah.
Okay. Look
Yep.
at that. Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. And
Yeah.
so, but eventually, sort of acting kind of eclipses that, like you said, right? And
Yeah.
folks thought you were literally going into acting coming out of high school.
Yeah.
And
So
I think it's kind of cool that you didn't let that go totally, by the way, from what you're telling me. But no, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't basketball is still one of my favorite things to do. It was one of my first loves. But theater, a lot of people don't know, like, as soon as your job is done for that movie or that play, you're out of work. Like, you're
Mm,
constantly having to, like, find the next project because you're constantly unemployed if you don't. So, I was like, "Oh, I
uh-huh.
may need, something a bit more stable than that." And then, of course, getting married and going to Italy and Japan, yeah, it's not much I can do with acting. So that's what brought me, to University of Maryland Global Campus. Um,
Uh-huh.
while you're stationed overseas with your spouse, a lot of people don't know that we're not there on a work visa. So we can't work in the economy. We can only work on the US military base. And it's gonna be little jobs here and there, such as like at the daycare center or the grocery store or administrative work in the offices. So I was like, well,
Mm.
I I don't want to work, just randomly. So I'll continue to go to school and earn degrees until we make it back to the United States. And
Okay.
since we were overseas a lot, I got a lot of degrees.
What do you know about that? Talk about like making the most of an opportunity, you know? So, I mean, okay, all right. So I'm sure there were challenges with, okay, you're overseas in unfamiliar environments, right? And in the meantime, you're working on school and distance education, virtual learning. So, I mean, what was that like?
Well, the
3 degrees
time
while you're on the
difference.
road. Okay.
The
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
difference with my classmate when we had, assignments was a little challenging, just a
Oh,
little
the
bit.
group projects. Okay.
But,
Okay.
they understood. There was a satellite base for, University Global Campus in Naples. So,
Mhm.
I was actually able to take, about 2 classes face to face. So, a lot of the students, some of them were overseas like me, so that helped. So at times where if we had somebody on the West Coast, but we had 2 people in Europe, the 2 people in Europe would, finish a portion of it in our time zone and then throw it off to the West Coasters.
Look at that.
Yeah, we figured that out.
Okay. Huh, huh, that works out. I mean, okay, so did you find that it got easier with time? Like, you completed your bachelor's, did you feel like by the time you got to your master's, "Oh, I've got a system in place, I've got a strategy, I'm rolling," or I don't know, did it get more difficult? Because I
Well,
mean, we're talking graduate level courses too.
yeah, so once again, it's a little bit challenging being overseas, but that was the great part about going with University of Maryland. Doing the degrees overseas, it really wasn't too bad once you figured out your rhythm, your flow. Um, getting into my first graduate degree, I didn't know there was something called data science. Um, I was doing a statistic course that was mandated for my undergrad degree, and it was basically like applied statistics. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, you can make a living just like quantifying everything around you. Like, this is great.
Interesting.
So
Okay,
I
so
was
that
like,
really appealed to you.
yeah. And I was like, they have a master's degree where you can do this. Like, this is great. And it basically it merged applied statistics with computer science, like coding. And my
Mhm.
undergrad, I specialized in coding, particularly Python. So I was like, okay, it takes like two of my favorite things. They make a baby, and this is amazing.
And now you get to watch the baby grow up.
Yeah, like, I was like, "This is great." Like, this is
Uh,
awesome. So,
okay.
I was able to do that, and it was just the 2 years just flew by. And at that time, I think I was still in Italy when I first started, and then I went to upstate New York, and then I finished that degree while in Japan. So, I was during that 2 years, I was, like, bouncing around from country to country.
What? Okay. Well, okay, so here's an obvious question. How did you fall in love with data science? right? I mean, you kind of gave a little bit of your reasoning for, I guess, for why you like data science, but okay, we're also talking about, someone who maybe didn't have that, inspiration so much in high school. Again, we're talking you are balling out, all right? You're almost on your way to Hollywood, right? Coming out of high
And
school. and, and then yeah,
pump
a
fake.
sharp turn. Yeah, and here we are now, right? Data science,
Yeah,
right?
I
So
told you.
and right, right.
Can't catch me.
So how did
That's
that happen?
so I think underneath it all, it comes from a very foundational place. So I realize, and this is where I'm gonna get super nerdy, um, from
Bring it
a
on.
young he's like, yeah,
We're ready
do it,
for it.
do it.
Yeah.
From a young age, I realized like everything is just math. And I love math because it's very definitive. It's not subjective like English class. I used to turn in English homework and all these history reports and once again it's subjective. It's like, oh well, that's your opinion and this is my opinion. So you get a B minus. But with math, it was like, hey, 2 plus 2 is 4. There's no argument here. Like
Uh-huh. That's true.
like
Yeah.
so I
Can't
really
argue with
love
that.
that. Yeah, right? So I was like, I like this. There's no debating with the teacher. Like it just that's the answer and we all can agree on this. Um and then there was a formula which made it very systematic. You didn't have to guess. You have a formula and you just as long as you follow it just like a car on a road, as long as you follow the directions, you get to the answer. So I was like, wow, it has like a roadmap and everything. And then when you get to the answer, there's no debating whether or not that's true or false. Like, yeah, this is my jam.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and one teacher, I even rewrote a different way to get to the same answer because I was like, this feels more intuitive. And I think I was like 14 or something. Um, so that was the first time my teacher was like, "Well, this is the way I told you to do it." I was like, "Yeah, but this is more intuitive. I think the other kids would probably like this better." So that was the one argument about math that I had. But other
So
than
thinking
that,
outside the box. Okay.
other than that, it was great. So even with
Yeah.
my basketball, it I was good at basketball. By the way, I was a point guard. So, a point guard, like, we call the plays but even with basketball, I was like, it's all math. Like, you just figure out the velocity, the strength in which you hit the ball, the angle, and the ball goes in. So, I always saw everything as math. I just didn't know it until I came upon, like, applied statistics. And, they start showing you Moneyball. Everybody knows Moneyball, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, so that's kinda what I've been doing my whole life inside my head, quantifying things like you saw in Moneyball." And I'm like, "Yeah, this is perfect. I've already been doing it, so let's do it." Even acting. Once again, you have dialogue that you have to memorize, and then there's a rhythm between you and the other actor. Once again, you have to be like, okay, I may need to take 3 seconds to respond because I'm in shock in this scene. But to me, just everything math. Everything is
Look at
math.
that. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit mind-blowing because I mean, what you just did was connect math to basketball, to a sport, and then you also just connected it to acting, right? I mean, that's a kind of connection I don't think people make every day, and yet I also think you just did that in a pretty relatable way, right?
Oh, thanks.
Um, because you were saying, "Okay, I'm gonna go into nerd space for a moment," but yeah, I can tell already, and I think you've actually talked about this in the past, it seems like you have a really good way of simplifying what may seem like complicated concepts into sort of digestible pieces that folks can kind of take, bite, 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 and digest it. Am I guessing right on that, Kavita?
No, you are
Yeah.
actually very, very correct on that. Um, so when I was little, trying to get into an elementary school, there was one elementary school that said, "Oh well, she's not able to say the alphabet backwards," And so she's not really up to speed. So I thought, oh, I must have some sort of learning disability. But then I also thought, and I was only like, what, 6? I was like, then if you wanted kids to learn how to recite it backwards, why does Sesame Street always recite it forwards in every other book? Like, so but so that
It's a good
gave me
question.
like this complex of, oh, well, maybe I'm slow. So with everything that I do, I may need to, kind of break it down in these small little digestible pieces. So ever since then, that's what I have been doing. So you're right on the money on that. And I figured out that even the most complex subject matters, we're talking about like physics and all that fun stuff,
Yeah.
just go back to the foundation and then just simplify it.
Hmm.
And then you build upon those simple concepts until all of a sudden you look back and you're like, oh, I'm doing super, super complex stuff. And wow, I didn't think I could be here. And I like to relate that to other people because it's even rocket science.
Imagine that.
People don't come out the womb just knowing rocket science, they kind of
No, no.
bit by bit.
In everyday conversation, not to interrupt, in everyday conversation, you hear people say, "Hey, this isn't rocket science," as if it's like
Yeah,
something to, avoid like the plague or something, right? Oh,
yeah.
it's not rocket science, it's this. But you're actually saying
Yeah, but
something
then
different.
they're coming at you with concepts from all the way up above, and you're like, "No, that seems like rocket science." Yes, yes.
Hmm.
But once again,
Hmm.
if you kinda did what I did and just go back to, "Okay, this is where we start, and this is how we got to the rocket science." So, and it's because of that I started an LLC last year, a company last year to help toddlers simplify STEM concepts, specifically artificial intelligence, because that's going to play a huge part in their
Oh yeah.
lives. They're going to see artificial intelligence everywhere. Maybe by the time they're teenagers, their teachers will completely be artificial intelligence. We already see some schools completely having artificial intelligence for certain class subjects. So I thought with toddlers, um, I may wanna say that I have a toddler. My
Beautiful.
son is
Yay.
4.5 years old. So, I realized by becoming a mom during the pandemic, just watching him learn is very, very similar, almost identical even, to the way that artificial intelligence is trained. And that would make sense, right? It's based off of neural networks, which, our brains use neural networks. And so they based artificial intelligence on basically, once again, human beings and how we learn. It's going to learn much faster than us, but it's still exactly the same. So I was like, wow, do people know this? Like, you talk to people about artificial intelligence, they're like, "Yeah, I don't know how that stuff works," and I was like, "Well, are you a parent?" "Yeah." And they're like, "Yeah." "Okay. Then actually you do know how artificial intelligence learns."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
or
See?
something.
Not rocket science.
Yeah, well, I mean, some
Yeah.
people be like, "Parenting is hard."
Mhm, mhm.
But artificial intelligence, you don't have, like, the sleepless nights, but the training of the artificial intelligence is very reminiscent of the training of small humans.
Yeah. Wow. Well, okay, so that's okay, STEM for All, right? I think is the name
Mhm.
of the company that you mentioned,
Yeah,
but
so
the business
the
side. Go ahead.
client-facing name is
That part.
Playhouse STEM.
Playhouse STEM.
Yeah.
Okay. That's child friendly. I could
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
Playhouse is, usually the synonymous with theater, right? Playhouse, we went to the Playhouse. So, and then I put STEM. So I'm kinda merging the Hollywood me and the STEM me, and once again, just using things from my history to, move forward in all the things that I like to do. Oh, here's the book.
Look at that. How to Put Your Robot to Sleep by C.T. Moody. Okay. All
Yes.
right. And for our listeners, yeah, she literally just showed us a sneak preview if you haven't bought it before. And it looks,
Yeah.
one, fun. I mean, even the way that you're portraying it, even the name, like Playhouse, fun, right? I mean, that's an inviting way, I think, for kids to get into STEM, right? I mean, I can tell you from experience, it seems like the biggest thing that stops people from really getting like people get intimidated by the idea of
Exactly.
STEM, right? You just think it's so high and up in the sky, and then you just almost end up, oh, yeah, kids, you end up like, I think you can almost make it seem like it's more intimidating than it is, even to the younger generations, right? And they kind of absorb this idea that, whoa, yeah, math, whoa, science, whoa, you know what I mean? Who wants to do calculus and advanced,
Mm.
differential equations and like physics and oh, scary, scary. But really, if we reframe that, there's a sense of wonder and there's a sense of, hey, this can actually be done and it unlocks something that's actually really special that can blow your mind away. And it's like that's the world that you have accessed and gotten lost in. And what I love about you, Kravita, is you're also contagious with this. I can feel it. When you can break it down and make something seem less intimidating, approachable, don't you want to do it too? That type of thing. I love that. And it sounds like that's a lot of what your vision is for the Playhouse, I would say, right? Playhouse
Yeah,
STEM.
Playhouse STEM. Exactly.
Yeah.
So first you have to break that barrier of, oh, it's science, technology, engineering. That's just, ooh, I can't
Mhm.
possibly learn that. Nobody in my family was a mathematician or a scientist. And yeah, nobody in my family was a scientist. And here I am, or a mathematician or anything like that. To bring it back again, I took a computer class in high school, but I didn't even own a computer until I was 21. Now I'm working for the FAA with artificial intelligence, which is obviously a lot of computers and all that fun stuff. So, but a lot of people think, oh, well, I need a computer. I need all of this stuff before I can get into anything that's STEM. Well, once again, that really at least wasn't my experience. I find that if you focus on the foundations of what STEM is, no matter what your occupation is, if you focus on the foundations, then no matter what technology they put in front of you, you'll be able to become at least proficient enough to get the job done. So once again, didn't touch a computer until I was what, 13? Yeah, didn't even touch a computer until I was 13, and that was the computer class, the typing class. They taught you how to type on the little Macintosh. And then 21 finally got a laptop and, just went from there. But if you focus on things such as attention to detail, just in your own environment while you're sitting at your desk or you're taking a walk, just focus on small things in your environment and kind of hone that talent. So look at the insects, look at the blades of grass blowing in the wind, look at the birds in the tree. How many birds are in the tree? What color are they? So just training yourself to kind of absorb things like that gives you that attention to detail that everyone in STEM professionals have. And once again, you don't need a computer for that. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to put their 6-year-old in coding or robotics classes. Don't get me wrong,
Ah,
that's free.
yeah.
But here's the thing. When I was a kid, there was no prepare your kid to be a data scientist. Why? Because there was no such thing. There was no such thing as a AI scientist. There were people working on AI, but there was no AI scientist. So you need to be able to just learn the foundation of STEM. And then once again, as technology changes, which it always does, it doesn't matter what the technology is, what the application is. I'm constantly having to learn new STEM technology because, oh, there's another new AI application that makes and streamlines things so much better. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah,
give
because the
it to
field is
me. Yeah.
evolving. Yeah, yeah.
But and then
Huh.
even the coding language that people use, like back when I was a kid, they were using like COBOL and all that fun stuff. But now like Python is the unofficial language of data science. So once again, things are going to change. But what doesn't change is the foundations such as attention to detail.
Hmm.
They are very detail oriented STEM people. And then resilience. You have to be very resilient because you'll be asked to kind of change directions, change applications, technology along your entire career. So, once again, you got to be resilient. So, if you focus on those things, which is what I accidentally did in my childhood. So, when I finally got a laptop at 21, I hit the ground running.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, you didn't waste any time. Okay. So now you've also been a trailblazer in this regard. I mean, even a little background on this. I mean, um, you at the FAA, right? I don't know if I spelled this out, but Federal Aviation
Aviation
Administration.
administration. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep, yep. So, you're the first African American woman to hold the title of data scientist at the FAA,
Correct.
right? So, you know, that's phenomenal and honored to just discuss this with you. What's that been like? Because I'm sure there are challenges that were associated with that as you've trailblazed your way to that point. Could you speak on that, from wherever your heart leads you?
Yeah, my answer may be disappointing, but I kinda don't think about
No,
it.
yeah. No, that's
I
fine.
kinda just,
Yeah.
I look at the work that's in front of me that someone is asking me to do, and I say, "Oh, okay, let's do this," and I do it to the best of my ability, everything that I do, and it just simply caught the eye of the people at the FAA, and they said, "Hey, yeah, we wanna bring you on board." I first started off, working for them when I worked for the Fortune 500 company Leidos. And
Okay.
they contracted me out to the FAA. And during that year long contract, the FAA was like, man, she's amazing. Like, so after that year, they brought me on as a federal employee. But yeah, I really don't think about it. I only think about it when I do a presentation or go into a meeting in which others kinda, "Ah, oh, okay." And I get a somewhat of a reaction like that, and, that's the only thing that reminds me like, "Oh, okay, I'm the other one that looks like me here, so you guys aren't used to seeing someone like me doing a presentation like this." I was like, "Okay." But most of the time, we don't think about it. Like, when the coworkers I work with every day, when the FAA wrote the article, they were like, "Oh, that's cool. We didn't know that." Like, we knew you
Wow.
did great work, but we didn't know that we were working with the first African American woman data scientist here. Cool.
Boom. Yeah, because like it's not like that was something you were advertising from the beginning.
No,
Hey,
no.
here I am.
No.
But it happened. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wonderful, and it is an inspiration. I know, to me, as an African American male, even kind of have that inspiration too from my dad. He worked, ended up going into NASA straight out of high school and working
Nice.
in STEM in that way. So also in a federal capacity and I mean, and especially you, there's this inspiration that comes from being able to see, oh, they did it, and they look like me, and wow, I
Yeah,
can, I can do that too, right?
exactly.
Okay, maybe it's not as intimidating as it may seem from the outside, right? Have you seen any of that like inspiration, even from minority folks or Eden family? Because I know you were a trailblazer for your own
Mhm.
family to get into STEM, right? Have you seen others be inspired by your journey?
Others inspired by my journey.
Yeah, in STEM in particular.
Well, I guess I'm still uh, at the beginning of it, so maybe later on I'll get more people commenting on that. But I did have some of my coworkers reach out to me once the article was written by the FAA. It was distributed internally and emailed to everybody twice. So I had some coworkers who worked in completely other divisions, and they reached out to me, was like, well, this is inspiring. And some of them were actually thinking about transitioning their career to data science, or at least data analytics, to be an analyst. And so they were like, it's really cool to see that someone who looks, like me, doing it. And I was like, oh, thanks. So, I was able to tell them, "Hey, these are some online courses you can possibly take to help, further your aspirations to possibly be an analyst or a data scientist." But so a little bit, a little bit of
I love that.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, let me tell you, it's just starting. I mean, even talking to you, um, I remember my dad wanted me to get into STEM, as I was coming out of high school. And I just remember concluding, I don't know if I'm wired for it. And I went the sociology route, which is great. I
Oh,
love that.
nice.
Sociology and psychology. I know you mentioned at some point, I've seen in your story having some interest in psychology as well, I think. Yeah, yeah. So I can connect with you on that. But I think part of my decision was honestly because, man, these computer engineering classes, and the calculus 1 and calculus 2 that you have to take to do, that's just intimidating, and but if the young me could have talked to you, I think I would have helped a lot. And I'm sure
Yeah,
it's gonna help, you know.
'cause you're
Um,
seeing the final product, and the final product
mhm.
is intimidating. So, whenever I get that feeling, like if a project comes to me, or something, or it's just a big challenge, um, I say, "Okay, I recognize this feeling. It's intimidation." But once again, let's go to the foundation of what's being asked here, and let's break it down in small digestible pieces.
Sure.
So I guess over the years, just something triggers in me, and it says, okay, when you feel intimidation, figure out the basics of the situation, and then it becomes
Yeah.
less intimidating.
You know?
It's
Uh,
it's like a person, right? It's like a
mm,
person. You may meet, like, this is one of the reasons why they say don't meet your heroes, or because
yeah.
once you get to know them
Yeah.
and what makes them tick and all that fun stuff, you're like, oh, okay.
That's all it's
So
cracked up to
once
be?
again,
Yeah.
at first you were intimidated, but once you start getting the details about the person and all that fun stuff, you're like, oh, okay, well, you're not, you're still impressive, but mm, yeah, you're not as intimidating. So it's the same thing with any subject matter. Just think of it as a famous person.
Yeah. Huh.
Intimidating, but then break down the pieces that leads up to that intimidating image. And then it's like, oh, you're not that intimidating. You're just a regular person.
That's a great way to think about
Yeah,
it. Start small, right?
always.
I
It's a
think
cliche, but that's how you work. I mean,
yeah,
think
so the
about it like this,
mm,
like human evolution. If someone just dropped into human evolution right now, they'd be like, "Whoa, like you guys got artificial intelligence, you have like the World Wide Web, and you can video call people like we're doing right now." But think about how we started. We came a long way. We didn't just drop into what we have right now. We built upon it, but we were just living in caves and, figuring out fire all the way to like the iPhone. Yeah. So everything has a beginning. Start at the beginning, then work your way to the end. The end part is the intimidating part.
uh-huh, uh-huh. There you go. Piece by piece. Okay. So I think I actually like that. I mean, from the perspective of starting small and it sort of evolving over time, um, even your life's journey, I feel is a lot like that, right? I mean, you're someone that strikes me as someone who's not really afraid to learn something new, and try something new. And you see where all of those building blocks lead to where you are right now. Um, and I think that's where I want to go kind of with this next. I mean, again, we're going back to, Kavita in high school, right? Learned an amazing skill in sports, right? Got skillful in basketball, got into acting, did really well there, right? Um, there are parts of your story we haven't emphasized so much yet here, but I know that for everybody listening and watching, scuba diving. You got into
Yeah.
scuba diving, and we're talking scuba diving and shipwrecks, everybody. I'm not making
Yes.
this up,
Yes.
right? And so, I mean, you haven't been afraid to try something new. And my question for you is, what does it take? What does it take to get over the fear of trying new things? Potentially the fear of failure, right? Because this involves getting out of your comfort zone, right? To do those. And I feel like that's what you've consistently done. And that's what's helped to get you to this point. What do you have to say to that? What from your life's journey?
It's gonna be probably another cliche, which is the way that you label things could be the issue. So some people say, okay, don't be afraid to fail. Just the word fail triggers something in people to make them say, yeah, no. Failing, I've always been told failing throughout my childhood is not a good thing. So then when you say the word failing, when you're trying to evolve and push past your limits, you have that definition of failing being negative. So instead of failing, I'm like, oh, I tried that. That didn't work out too well. So let me try it a different way. I try to avoid words that historically can make me just give me a mental block, just make me stop. So when I see something that most people would say, oh, that's challenging, I say, oh, that could be fun. Like in my
That's
head,
subtle, but that's
challenging,
powerful.
yeah, like in my head, challenging means fun, interesting, out of the norm. Yeah, that sounds like fun. I can get down with that.
Last thing, I just got to ask because I mentioned it, the scuba diving. I just want to say this. Look, when folks uh, push past your comfort zone and you decide I'm going to learn something, I'm not going to think of something in terms of possibility of failure, but I'm going to think of something as, oh man, this is an opportunity. This is going to be fun, just like you were saying, Kavita,
It's gonna
fun.
be fun.
So you, how did the scuba diving end up taking place, right? Like how did you get to do that and shipwreck really quick?
I was vacationing in Thailand. My husband at the time, his ship was going to be there for about a month doing exercises with the local military there. So I was like, okay, spend the month there. And I was like, hey, what can I do with a month in Thailand? So there's a bunch of diving advertisements. And I said, that could be fun. So I was like,
Fun.
yeah, let's do it. It takes like 2 weeks to get the first one. And after I got done with the first one, and there's a ton
Like a
of reading.
certificate?
Yeah,
Mm.
so they give you a book. You have to do a certain amount of reading each night. And then before you can, we first start off in a pool, and then we do some of the exercises in the pool, and then they take you out to the actual ocean, and then they have you run through some tests in the ocean and say, okay, check, check, check. So I was like, yeah, this was fun. Let me get another diving certification. That was great. So I got a second certification during that month so I could dive down, what, 30 meters? That's 100 feet
Whoa.
into the sea. So that one was a bit more rigorous. So you notice I
What?
still don't use challenge, rigorous. Um,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm
so it
picking
was a
that
bit
up.
more rigorous. Like there was one exercise and test that we had to do in which you have to go down, kneel on your knees, and be able to remove your breathing apparatus and then change it out with the spare. So at any given moment, you could, your respirator could dislodge or just malfunction. So you have a spare. So you need to create that muscle memory to be able to like grab it and switch it out without panicking,
Got
especially
it.
with like this like 50-pound tank on your back and you have fishes swimming around you. You need to be able to keep your cool, switch it back out, so on and
That's
so
crazy.
forth. So that was it was great. But the I
No pressure.
eventually no pressure. So I eventually got the second license, and I dived down to a beautiful World War II shipwreck off the coast of Pattaya, Thailand. It was pretty phenomenal.
How deep down was that?
It was 100 feet. So yeah, it's about like an hour or so off the coast of Thailand, southern Thailand, and it was amazing. People don't know, but when you go that deep in the water, everything is black and white. There is no color.
This is what it means to overcome fear, and this is what it means to press your comfort zone and to come, I mean, just what you pull from that, what you learn from that, it leads you to be the kind of person that Kravita we have here today, right? Who, I mean, talk about an adventurous journey. It is, I mean, that's a page turner. I'm on the edge of my seat saying, where, I'm curious where you're gonna go next. I mean, if we had more time, we would go there. But look, I I see nothing but the best, for you moving forward. We're so glad that we get to be that we've gotten to be a part of your journey. Those building blocks that have led to these incredible outcomes and the impact that you're making in your field. And look, to our audience, I want to just say, look at Kravita's example. Seriously, press those comfort zones, and see what life has, on the other side. See who you become as you evolve, as you take those opportunities. I know that's what I'm striving to do. Look, with that, Kravita, thank you. Thank you for your time with us, and we're looking forward to seeing what's next for you. And seriously, and to our audience, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching it. Thanks for being here with us. And we're here next time. If you want to see more on Unstoppable Stories, remember to like and subscribe, and you'll be able to see more, just like Kravita's. Okay. So that's all we have for today. Kravita, I'll let
Thanks,
you say goodbye.
Nathan. Thank you for having me. You have a wonderful podcast.
Yeah, no, happy to have you on. Okay. I appreciate it. See you, everybody.
Have a good one.